Guys, what we're going to be making right now is a spaghetti bolognese. Let's cancel out the spaghetti. You know how to cook pasta. I have a YouTube at chefdaniel.com.au. Go check that out, and that's how you cook pasta. What I've been asked for from a few youth around the area is how do I cook bolognese and how do I keep it cheap? So it's really, really simple. I'm going to show you how to cook bolognese, nice and cheap at home, still get a cracker flavor, but also be able to freeze it so you can have it whenever you want. So come over here with me. What we need to do first of all, we need to grab a pot. Now I'm going to do a lot more than what you're going to do at home, okay? But what we've got here is our nice pot. We're going to put a decent amount of olive oil. It's nice and hot. It's ready to rock and roll. Now don't be afraid to put a good amount of olive oil. Now one little hint and tip that I've got for you, really, really simply, if you want a good flavor at the start with that oil that you want, right? So we're going to do like a bolognese, we're going to do Italian food. What are we going to put? Olive oil. You want to do coconut flavored, like, you know, coconut curries, put coconut oil, satay, peanut oil, and so on and so forth. But remember, start off with an awesome flavor and you're going to go to cracker flavor at the end. One other thing that gives me really good flavor is onion. Dice the onion at the start, fry that off, sweat it out, get all the flavor cracking out of it, and we're going to put that in there. You want to hear sizzling. You want to hear that sexy sound like that. Oh, yeah, that sexy sound right there, right? So what we got is we're frying, we're smelling, we're fogging up. It's fantastic. This is one thing that I love about cooking and cooking with fresh ingredients is you've got all this like sizzling oil and it's like an orchestra, right? Like you can just hear it. You're the conductor. Let the pots, the pans, and all the ingredients be your orchestra. So once we get that fried off. Now, one of the things you got to do is I've got this frying off really, really well. Don't be too impatient. Get the flavor out of the onion because when you use onion, you can actually use a lot less salt in your food because onion was the main source of flavor before salt ever existed. So come over, have a quick look. They're frying off. They're getting some really, really good color, right? It's sweating. It's coming out. It smells amazing. And they're ready to go. Now, what I'm going to use is tomato paste, okay? Now, you get tomato paste a little bit smaller than I do, but this is what I get, right? So, when you're using tomato paste, don't put sugar, right? I'm sick of this sugar in... No, you don't need sugar. You want tomato. You don't want sugar. There's enough sugar in tomato, right? So, what you're going to do is to get rid of that slightly sour taste because it's been jarred or bottled, what you have to do is fry it. It's as simple as that. Just fry it. Nothing else. But what we're going to do is we're going to flavor it. Simple, dried Italian herbs. That's it, right? So dried Italian herbs are going to go in to the onions. And the reason why I like frying it off is because that dried Italian herbs is going to bring out a hell of a lot more flavor than simply just sprinkling in and hoping it works. So just fry, 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 fry. Smells coming right through. Now what we got here is the tomato paste. We're going to simply throw in a good amount of tomato paste. Can you see how there's hardly any oil left? Now put in that tomato paste and just simply move that around and let that tomato really kind of start to fry and to cook up. Keep it on that and have a look at that going, right? Just keep looking and seeing how that operates and how that goes. Nice and simple. Now I wish you could smell this, right? You can smell the onion, you can smell the herbs, you can smell the tomato coming right through. You're not going to get any sourness, you don't need to put any sugar or anything like that. Just simply fry out the sourness, right? And bring back to life the tomato, right? It's as simple as that. Good fry. Don't be too impatient. Let that fry off. Now, I've got some mince here, right? Nice and simple beef mince. You want to go fancy, go veal and pork, okay? All you need to do is make sure you go normal beef mince. That's all it is. Just beef mince, simple. You can buy it anywhere. If you want, yes, you can go pork and veal. You can go with whole peeled tomatoes. Guys, we're in a pretty crappy time at the moment. I'm simply showing you how to get the best flavor out of the ingredients that you can get right now. Okay, so tomato frying off, mince almost ready to go in. Fry, fry, fry. Can you see that? I wish you could smell it. Right, frying it off really, really well. And then all we're going to do now is when you're adding the mince, don't put it all in at one clump, right? Just try and separate it as best as you can into the pan. Right, just simply mix it all in, smash it all up. And then mix it all through. Now, a lot of people go, oh, but you're going to stew the mince. Yes, you are. But it's technically, a bolognese is a mince stew. So what we're going to do, by the mince actually stewing, the flavor of the mince and the beef is going to come back into the sauce. So you don't need to use stocks and all that kind of stuff, right? It's just going to be a nice simple bolognese that you can make at home, and all you got to do is start smashing it up. Be a little bit rough and tough with it, and really fry off all that mince and that tomato together. Keep an eye on it for me. Guys, come over here. Keep an eye on this mince for me. While you keep an eye on that mince for me, I'm going to quickly just duck over and grab some water. Just plain water. You don't need stocks. You don't need red wines. Red wine is better drunken, not put into bolognese. All you've got to simply do is just keep that mince frying off. Get as much water as you can. So we come back over here. Now I've got some water. This is frying off beautifully. You can almost see, can you see like down here, how it's starting to, can you see how it's starting to stick? Right, that's the sugar, right? That's the sugars from the tomato coming back out of it and getting rid of that sourness. Fry, 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 smash up all that meat. Then we're going to put in some water. Give it a slow stir. Keep an eye on that. We're going to get some more water. It smells great. It's going to come back up to a boil. All right, I'm going to just show everyone quickly before we leave exactly how much water you should have in there to the mince and the tomato paste. So you're going to mix it all through. Beautiful, there we go. We're going to smash up that rest of that mince up as much as we can. We're going to put in a little bit of cribbled black pepper. Right, I like using cribbled black pepper in this because as it cooks, it kind of bleeds out the flavor quite nicely. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of salt. Don't put too much salt because you could always add salt, you can never take it out, okay? So we're going to bring this, stir it all in. Beautiful. So simply from here, all you've got to do, just simply, really easily, let it come to a boil, turn it down to a simmer. If you can, try and let it simmer for at least half an hour, right? If possible, 6 to 7 hours is amazing. If you've never had bolognese simmered for 6 to 8 hours, right? You haven't had bolognese, right? It's the most best thing in the world. It's my favorite dish. That's why I chose this one to choose to show you off. What I'm going to do a little bit later is also I'm going to make up some pizza dough. I'm going to show you how to do pizza dough or just a very basic dough that you could use in very couple of different items. But guys, if you want to know any more, go to chefdaniel.com.au, click onto the YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and I'll record anything that you want to know. Until then, happy cooking.